Hello, hardworking parents. So for here, so I'm going to talk about 5 parenting styles and how they can impact your child's life and now and even in the future as an adult. They are the authoritarian, the authoritative, the permissive, the uninvolved, and the over-involved parenting styles. And I hope that even as I go through these parenting styles, you will learn a few tips as a parent to incorporate into your parenting style that will help your child to be more confident, to boost their self-esteem. It will help them to be able to learn how to make better choices and learn decision-making skills, and also be a happier child who would grow up to be a happy, independent adult. So let's just dive in. The first parenting style that I would like to talk about is the authoritarian parenting style. With this parenting style, the parents makes all the decisions and rules for their child. The parent demands absolute obedience from their child. What happens with this parenting style is that the parent, is making all the decisions without involving the child, and so the child feels that their opinion and what they think and feel is not valued by their parents. So the child feels that their opinion is not valued, and therefore it affects their self-esteem. They have low self-esteem because the parents don't involve the child in making the choices for their child. The child doesn't learn how to make better choices for themselves, and so that is with the authoritarian parenting style. Let's move on to the permissive parenting style. With the permissive parenting style, the parents allow their child to do whatever they want, and the child breaks rules if there are, however and whenever they want. The permissive parents feel that they are their child's friend or friends, and so they allow their child to talk to them about their problems that they are going through. However, the child doesn't receive guidance from their parents in making any choices, any good choices, better choices for their problems that they are going through. And so this child, encounters problems in school. They run into authorities, they run into problems with the authorities in school because, they are supposed to follow rules, right? And they can't follow rules. So that becomes a problem, and it affects their school and academic performance. They don't perform very well in school. Also because the parents don't really guide their child into making the right decisions and solving problems, the child makes poor decisions, and it affects them in self-esteem and different aspects of their life. So that is with the permissive parenting. I would like to share an example. I had a friend and a colleague way back, some many years back, and she told me that she's very angry with the mom because the mom allowed her to do whatever she wanted whenever she wanted, and she really made some very bad and poor choices as a teenager. And so she thought that these choices would affect her as an adult. And so that is what happens, when the child doesn't get guidance and direction from the parents to make right, proper decisions and choices. So we're moving on to authoritative parenting style. With the authoritative parenting style, the parents makes all the decisions and rules for their child. However, they get the child involved. They discuss with their child to know their child's opinion, what they think, what they feel about the issues at stake. And the information flows from the parent to the child and from the child to the parent. However, it's the parents who make the final decisions on issues and anything that has to do with the child. They make the final rules for the child. And with this kind of parenting, the child feels that because the parents listen to their opinions and what they are thinking and feeling and discuss issues concerning them with the child feels that their opinion is valued, what they think is valued, and so it boosts their self-esteem, it raises their self-esteem, and the child feels confident. Also, because the parents discusses these rules and decisions about the child with them to make better choices. The child learns in this process to be able to make better choices on their own. It helps them to solve problems on their own, and therefore they are able to express themselves, their opinions in school and wherever they are, and also later on in life they become very confident adults. Now let's move on to the uninvolved parenting style. As the name indicates, the uninvolved parenting has very little involvement with the child. The child is left alone. Most of the time, the parent doesn't know what the child is doing, where the child is, who the child is hanging out with or playing with, whether the child has done their homework or not, and they are having problems. The parent normally doesn't know all of these things. What happens is the parent gets involved when the child gets into a huge problem or crisis of some sort. Then that is when the parent steps in. The parent is emotionally or physically unavailable for the child, and so the child lacks guidance and nurturing and support from the parents. This child, from the uninvolved parenting style parent, doesn't do well in school because the child doesn't get support from the parents, doesn't get guidance. Also, the child's self-esteem is low because the child doesn't get the nurturing that they need from their parents, and they don't get the support from their parents. So they don't perform well in school, their self-esteem is low, and they can't solve problems. They find it difficult in solving problems, because they don't have the nurturing and guidance and support of their parents. And so finally, we're moving on to the over-involved parenting style. With this parenting style, the parent is too much involved with their child. They are into the nitty-gritty and every detail of their child's life, whether the child has asked for help to solve a problem or not. The parents are there to help. So this inhibits the child from learning how to solve problems, and it affects them in that way. And so the child, even when the child has grown up to become an adult, they find it difficult, to make decisions and solve problems when they are faced with something that is quite challenging. And so that is the 5 parenting styles for. I would also like to mention that parenting styles, sometimes parents, shift from one parenting style to the other, depending on the circumstance that the parents and the family find themselves. For example, if a family is staying in a place that is not safe, then the parents are likely to, be strict to protect their children from where they go, who they see or hang out with, and such things, so that they'll protect their child from abuse or violence or anything of that sort. And additionally, parents are influenced by the parenting that they receive themselves, as children, and also they are also influenced by the cultural background, the educational background, and many other factors. However, parents want the best for their child and their children. And then I would also want to talk a little bit about when mom and dad have different parenting styles. Sometimes it becomes a huge problem, because every one of them wants their child or children to be parented their way. So I encountered this family, and the mom is a permissive parent, and the dad is an authoritarian parent, very strict one. And so they were finding difficulties in parenting their children as a couple. And so what we finally came up with was that they would negotiate and discuss, any issue that comes up with their child. For instance, if they have to decide on a curfew time for their 12th grader, then they will negotiate, and the permissive parent would like the child to come home latest 12 a.m. and the strict authoritarian dad wants the child to come home at 10 p.m. So then they will have to talk about it, negotiate, and they could come up with 11 p.m. So everybody gains a little bit and loses a little bit, and so it becomes something fair for each one of them. And so that was how we were able to help, for them to be able to discuss and negotiate and come in the middle so that they can parent their child in a more peaceful and harmonious way. So I hope that you've been able to learn a few tips from this parenting styles. I would encourage you as a parent to be able to learn some tips from the authoritative parenting that he listens to their child, so that their child feels that their opinions are valued, that discusses issues, rules and decisions about their child with them, so that their child is able to learn how to make better choices, and also are able to solve problems when even as they grow up, and they are confident and a happy child who grew up to be a confident, independent, problem solving adult who is happy. So thank you for watching. If you found this video to be helpful, then I'll say like it, share it with other parents and guardians that would find it useful. And also, you are encouraged to share, in the comment section, tips are. So take care, God bless you, and bye bye for now.